Shalom everyone, Yishem Adonai Rachma Ad Olam, may Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. Today, we're starting to deal with the topic, the notion of today is Korea. Korea means tearing fabric, tearing papers, and so forth and so on Shabbat. So the question is if this is permitted on Shabbat to do. So before we start, we want to dedicate this Torah class to Refuah Shelema, a speedy recovery for all our soldiers in the land of Israel and all the security forces. May Hashem bless them so they can come back home safely. Amen.
Amen.
For example, can we tear paper towel, toilet paper, plastics, like let's say a plastic bag? Imagine that I have, let's say bread. Okay, I have bread inside a plastic bag, and it's tight really, strongly. I mean, I can't open it unless I tear it. Is this permitted on Shabbat? What is even the problem with tearing on Shabbat? Did you ever hear about tearing on Shabbat? What about diapers?
Yeah, if this is rhetorical, or would you want to answer?
Okay. What about diapers? Diapers, you have to open the bag. You have to open sometimes in Velcro style, sometimes it's regular, sticky thingy. So all these things, B'ezrat Hashem, we will talk today. But before that, a short introduction. What is tearing? Korea. In Hebrew, it's called Korea. Korea, tearing fabric. The Av Melacha, it comes from the 39 Melachot, right? Of Korea is the act of tearing fabric in order to sew it afterwards. Sometimes it's not a good method or a good thing just to, if you have a hole in the fabric, just to tear it, just to sew it. So when they had in the tabernacle, sometimes holes due to weather condition or worms, whatever. What they would do, they would have to tear it and then re-sew it. Have to sew it again. It looks nicer. Okay? And that kind of melacha, av melacha, is prohibited on Shabbat. So for example, you come home on Shabbat and the pants are torn or there's a small hole, and you want to fix it. On Shabbat you can't. Okay? You want just to tear it, or there's your extra piece. Sometimes, for example, you can't do that. So sometimes people have, they're wearing, for example, for Shabbat, for the sake of Shabbat, a new suit or a new shirt. They walk to the shul and someone says, hey, you forgot the ticket. So what do you want to do? You want to tear it. Is that permitted on Shabbat? It happens all the time. It happens many times.
Rabbi, we can't.
What?
Oh, it muted you, but we're good now.
You good? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So if someone tears a cloth simply for the purpose of destroying it, this act is not forbidden by the Torah, but it is forbidden by our sages. This follows the principle explained above in the preface to the halacha of mochek, erasing. An act of melacha is actually a constructive act. Okay, something you have physically do. Okay, guys, please put yourself on mute. We can hear you in the background. All the noises in the background you have. And any act performed simply to destroy is not an act of melacha forbidden by the Torah. We'll explain later what does that mean. The Rambam, ruled that the act of separating papers that had been glued together is, if performed as a constructive act, and not to destroy is a tolada. It's a secondary to Av. Av is the main. Of the melacha of Korea, tearing. This corresponds to his ruling that gluing papers together is the tolada of tofer. Sorry, as explained previously. Okay, guys. That was just a short introduction. You're thinking gluing. It also happens to me just lately when I purchased a new book. I read it on Shabbat. It was one book of a set of 7 books, and when I was going through the book, I found that like in almost toward the very end, few pages were connected. They didn't cut it. The machine, I guess, didn't cut it well. So I want to read the information inside. Can I tear it on Shabbat? Right? It's for a good purpose. Studying Torah on Shabbat. You know what I mean, right? You can imagine such a situation. You probably noticed that. So all these questions, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will answer. Many people don't know that on Shabbat, for example, you need to use a special toilet paper. Did you know that? Not the regular roll. Right. Very clean can be good. But we'll explain why. We'll explain what's the idea behind it. Halacha number 1. If someone tears a cloth on Shabbat in preparation for fashioning or repairing a garment, he is guilty of performing an act of the melacha of Korea, tearing, which is forbidden by the Torah. Likewise, if someone takes papers that had been glued together and separates them for a constructive purpose, please note, we're talking about it was glued together, not accidentally. A drop of glue fell and something that was meant to be like that. For a constructive purpose, he is guilty of performing a tolada of the melacha of Korea. Please remember, in the 39 melachot that prohibited on Shabbat, they all called Av melach, Av like Abba, like father. There's a secondary, which is very much similar, they call Tolada. Tolada like Yeled, like a baby, like it's secondary, second generation. So the Toladot usually are prohibited by the Rabbi, and the Av is by the Torah. Many times people asking the same questions over and over. Who cares if it's forbidden by the Torah or by the rabbis? If it's a rabbinic law or if it's a law from the Torah, it's still prohibited. Why you keep telling us this is forbidden from the Torah and not by the rabbis, or it's by the rabbis and not by Torah, or both? Well, it's very important to know, because we know that any halakha that we derived from the Torah, it's clear in the Torah, and we're saying this is from the Torah. If you transgress this halakha, this mitzvah, the punishment is much greater and reflects the teshuvah that one needs to do, either with a korban, a sacrifice, or no sacrifice, and so forth and so on. Okay? So anything that we have doubt, but we know it's from the Torah, we have to be more strict. Make sense? Yes. For example, I explained that, I think last time, we discussed the halachot for Birkat HaMazon. So there's 2 things. Let's say I ate a banana, okay? Who says I need to say bracha over a banana? It's a rabbinic law, right? All the blessing, drink water. The halacha to say shehakol is from the rabbis, the rabbanan. Make sense? What if in the middle of eating banana, I'm thinking, hold on, or middle of drinking, did I say shehakol? Did I say borei pri adama for the banana? I have doubt. So since the rabbi set that halacha, it's better that you don't say anything. You refrain from saying any blessing. Because you might say Hashem's name in vain and some other things. Okay. But if after we eat a whole meal, and I'm thinking, did I do Birkat Hamazon or not? In that case, you must say it. Because to say Birkat Hamazon, blessing after eating, it's from the Torah. Torah says clearly, Achalta v'savata uberata. You ate, you're satisfied, and you should say a beracha. Okay? So there's a difference between laws that are derived from the Torah or a rabbinic law. It's important to know the difference. Okay. So one who did that is guilty of performing a Torah Malacha of Korea. This is so only if the papers had been glued to remain together for an indefinite period, but not if they were glued together to remain that way for only a short time, as explained in the following halacha. Okay, any questions? Next. Come on in. It is permissible to dress an infant with disposable diapers and to remove them from him on Shabbat. Although this involves fastening the self-sticking tabs on the diapers and pulling them off, these acts are permitted since one's intention is to fasten the tabs onto the diapers for only a short time. When you change the diaper anyway, nothing here is permanent. We're not building anything. It's not a constructive thing. When removing the diaper from the infant, however, one must attempt to separate the tabs from the diapers carefully so that one does not tear it. If it tears despite one's efforts, one has done nothing wrong, since one had no intention of tearing it and did not necessarily have to tear the diaper. So just make effort. Remember, this is Shabbat. You have to be careful. What some people do, they even prepare it before Shabbat. Few diapers, 5, 10, 6 pieces, I don't know. Just opening and closing this sticky thing to make sure it's going to go smoothly. They prepare it. You'll be surprised that many people, especially Ashkenazim, preparing stuff before Shabbat. For example, we will see it Be'ezrat Hashem, soda bottles. Open it to make sure they don't rip the ring. What ring? What are you talking about? Maybe later. Okay? So, let me summarize it by saying it's okay to open and close and change diapers. Just be careful when you open it, not to tear it, not to break it. If it broke, it's no big deal, but just try to be more gentle with it. Okay. Wow. Okay, I don't think I have time. So let me just read this really quickly. When one removes new diaper from its package in order to use it, it is permissible to separate the tabs and open the diaper, since they were stuck onto the diapers in the factory, in order to be later separated. Okay, so remember we talked about the plastic bag that you have either, diapers for example. You need to open now a whole bag. How do you buy diapers? It's a whole bag with a lot of writing in it. If I want to open it, I have to tear it. If I tear it, I might also erase some of the wording. Okay? So you might have an issue, either tearing on Shabbat or erasing on Shabbat, or both. Is that permitted on Shabbat? The answer is yes, because my intention is not to tear now bags or to erase words. My intention is simply what?
To get diapers.
Yeah, to get the diaper, that's it. So if that happened, it happened. Obviously, if you prepared it before Shabbat, you'll be much better. In hospitals, and especially where places like that they care about Shabbat, they're opening the boxes before Shabbat. They prepare a stack of diapers, either for infants, babies, or for adults, God forbid you will never need something like that, chas v'shalom. They prepare it before Shabbat. Okay? Any questions? Now, some things that I'm sure many people don't know. What is it? So we had the baby, we put him on Shabbat diapers, or whatever, the adult, and then we're changing it. What people usually do with the old diaper, with the used one, they folding it, and what they do?
They like close it up with the tape.
Close it up with the tape, with its tape.
So you
That's for
can't
permanent.
That's
What?
That's going to be permanent.
That will be permanent. It will be permanent, right? It will be permanent like. Okay, so the halacha says after removing a diaper from an infant, it is forbidden to stick the tabs onto the diaper in preparation for disposing it in the garbage. At this point, one sticks the tabs on the remain there permanently. Okay? And therefore, it is an act of the melacha of tofer, sewing. Sewing is not only with needle. Sewing could be also with glue, could be with the stickers and all that. So just remember on Shabbat, just fold it, put it in a plastic bag, tight it, and throw it without sticking it. This is what normally people do automatically. On Shabbat, please be careful on that. Another thing that this question I get every now and then about using wipes, not only for babies but also for cleanup, cleaning the table, wiping hands. Nowadays they are selling it all over. Some of them with bleach, some of them with fragrance, some of them just for the table. Most of them you see kills 99.99 of the germs, right? Yeah. So can I use them on Shabbat? Can I use these kind of wipes to clear the table on Shabbat? The halacha says, when necessary, it is permissible to wipe clean an infant's skin with a moist paper towels, if the towelettes are made of cloth fiber. However, they pose an issue of sechita. Sechita is squeezing. In Shabbat we're not supposed to squeeze.
Yeah.
I'm not squeezing, I'm just wiping the infant tushy, right? Or I'm doing it on the table. But if it's full of moist and you push it hard, it's kind of like you're squeezing it. Okay? So just to let you know, according to the Sephardim, it's okay to do that, but please make sure it's not too moisty, either the baby wipes or those you use for the cleanup. If you want to clean up the floor, it'll be best just to put the water and just wipe it. What do you call this?
like a squeegee.
Squeegee. With the squeegee, the big squeegee on the floor. If you still want to use some sort of a towel or this type of wipes they're selling in the stores for the floor, make sure it's not. It's almost dry, next to dry. And do that only after you take all the water with the squeegee out. Otherwise, as soon as you put it on the floor, you'll absorb the water there. You might have a problem. So remember, on Shabbat, we are acting differently. We are careful not to break Shabbat. You can break Shabbat with these small little things. Okay? Let me just finish this halacha. So it says, however, there was squeezing a liquid from where it is being absorbed, since the user benefits from the liquid that is squeezed from the cloth while cleaning the infant's skin. Okay? This is a common thing that we do all the time. People don't notice. People eat on Shabbat, and all of a sudden, a little drop of wine fell on the white shirt, and immediately they clean it up. That's what they do. You're during the week. You can do that on Shabbat. It's like laundering on Shabbat. This is why you should prepare yourself at least 1 or 2 or 3 clean shirts in case something like that happens. All right, or cover yourself. I mean, do whatever it takes in order to protect yourself so you don't accidentally launder on Shabbat. Okay. Let me skip this one. Any question?
No.
Okay, I'm going to read to you just so for your own information.
Someone has their hand raised.
What is that?
Hello, Rabbi. My name is Mohammed Alars, and I have a question about Shabbat. So it's like on Shabbat, which means like I cannot do like any even small work, like let's say wash dishes or clean clothes, for example. So it's not allowed. It's not permissible. So it's kind of like violation.
No, where did you understand? How do you understand that you're not supposed to wash dishes?
Because I thought like it's every type of work like you cannot allow. I thought that's what this means.
No, that's not it. And thank you for the question, Muhammad. Let me repeat that.
Thank you.
Working on Shabbat, it's permitted. Melacha on Shabbat, it's prohibited. You can work hard on Shabbat. You can lift chairs and tables and prepare a whole big room for a meal and sweat because it's really heavy chairs and tables, and it's completely 100% permitted for Shabbat. Anything that it's within the boundaries of the halacha, it's okay. So for washing dishes, it's permitted. Okay, you don't want to leave the sink full of dishes and it stunk. It's not for the sake of the honor of Shabbat. The only time we don't wash dishes is on the Seudah Shlishit, very close to the end of Shabbat. So because it's some sort of preparation for after Shabbat. And we're not going to use this type of dishes anyways. With exception to glasses. Glasses are always permitted because normally people using glasses all the time. Okay? So you can even stack dishes in the dishwasher on Shabbat.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much. Yes, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Bavakasha, thank you. But when we get to this halacha, we'll see in which way you can stack it in a dishwasher. And what if it's on timer? Is it permitted? And we will discuss it back then. But I can tell you right now, you can put it there. Just be careful not to press any button accidentally.
Hi, Rabbi. This is Jacob.
Thank you so much.
Bavakasha.
Hi, Rabbi. This is Jacob. I have a quick question about Korea.
Korea. Please say Korea.
Potato chips. If you just open it along where it was sealed by the manufacturer.
No problem, because you can tear it even not where the manufacturer sealed it. So even more so, and if you do that and being careful, it's okay. But don't worry about it if you do it in a place that you might erase words. It's okay, completely okay. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Rabbi. I mean, Rabbi.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, then don't eat too much chips. It's not good for your health.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, next. Technically, it is permissible for a Jew to tear open an envelope sealed with glue or mud if the letter has been delivered by a non-Jew on Shabbat or Yom Tov. If possible, however, it's best to instruct a non-Jew to open it. Okay, back then, in the old days, they used to do with, what do you call this? Wax, thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the toilet paper. So the proper procedure is to prepare cut sheets of toilet paper before Shabbat for use on Shabbat. If someone, let's say, find himself in the toilet and it doesn't have any tissue there, box, or any prepared toilet paper, you just have the regular what do you call it, the rolled one. What you going to do? If someone finds himself in need of toilet paper on Shabbat and no prepared sheets are available to him, however, it is permissible to tear the sheets on Shabbat itself. It is best to tear the sheets in an abnormal manner. Can you give me an idea? No? No, you tell me how. Give me an idea how to do that. You and then your friend. No. You've been recorded. How would you do that? Very simple question, no? I can repeat the question if you want, okay? Just in case. So toilet paper, how you can cut it in an abnormal way. Not the regular way to pull and cut. What?
Where the little tear lines are, you could like avoid them.
Not on the lines?
Yeah.
Very good. That's a one option. Hannah, give me another idea. How to tear it abnormal way. What? With the head? With the head, it's an option. It's going to be really hard. Give me another option. No? You can do with the elbow. With the left hand if you're righty. During the week, you do with the right hand, left hand with your hand, and so forth and so on. Abnormal way. Shabbat, we want to remember that this is Shabbat. Okay? It's abnormal manner. Such as by using his elbow or his foot. But technically it is permitted to tear them in the normal manner as well. The main thing is that one must pay no attention whether he is tearing the sheets at the perforated margins or between them. Nevertheless, you said that's an abnormal way. But if you can't, don't get too concerned about that. Okay? If the sheets happen to tear along the perforations, the person has done nothing wrong. If someone is stringent and cleans himself with water without any paper, he will receive a special blessing from heaven. Okay, I have to discuss this with you. I know, but this is Torah. Even we're talking about toilet and toilet paper and all that. This is all Torah. It's best to use bidet. Bidet is the best. If you don't know what bidet means, just Google it later. Baruch Hashem, I'm fortunate to have in every toilet in my house bidet. It's the best way to clean up yourself. You can come later to tefillah, to prayers, to shul, to study Torah when your body is clean. Okay? It's a mechanism. It costs $50-$60 to put it one time on your toilet with a handle, and the water comes and wash your privates. Okay. And secondary to that, it's wipes, because it's clean better than toilet paper. And toilet paper would be after that. Any questions? All right. Why the halacha permit one to cut the toilet paper? Because it needs to be clean. It's dignity. It's not appropriate for him to be around people, and he feel uncomfortable, or God forbid, he's not clean.
For the prayer time.
And the prayers and blessing and all that, definitely. Okay, so the best way is the bidet. I know people, when I was in the yeshiva, we didn't have bidet back then. What we did is we took a quick shower. Okay? No comparison. The Muslims very strict about that. Many of them that I know in Israel, that I saw it, they're very strict about that. What they do is when they go to do their thing, they take with them a bottle of water so they can clean up themselves in that way. Okay? Obviously, they learned it somewhere. You know, all their wisdom, whatever they have, comes from Torah. Okay. Any questions? So, I'm going to read the last line. See how easily you can get blessing from Shamayim. It says, if someone is stringent and cleans himself with water without any paper, he will receive a special blessing from heaven. It's worth $50, I think. Right? Even $100, even whatever. And you can probably install it yourself. It's very easy. All right? I can tell you one thing. When you start to use bidet, you won't use toilet paper ever again. After a few times, you'll feel much more comfortable with that. Any questions?
I have a question. I'm sorry.
What's
when
your name?
we're using bidet or the shower, the thing is we'll make the water hot. That's what we cannot do. Like
Correct.
Because,
So that's a good question. What is your name?
Ludmila.
Ludmila asked a very good question. I would recommend, thank you for reminding, I would recommend to use the regular one, not the one that has battery in it or some electronic device attached to it, or one that gives you hot water, unless they have a special mechanism that you can switch between hot and cold easily, or have two pipes. Otherwise, the regular ones that shoot regular water, no big deal. Use these. If you have such bidet that will use hot water, it's a problem to use on Shabbat. So it's better to avoid that in the begin with. Okay? Yeah.
Rabbi, I have a question. I'm brand new to this group, and I live in Mexico. And it's very common where I live for there to be staff in your house living with you. So if it's Shabbat, and I have Catholics living in my house, and I say, hey, it would be really lovely to have the toilet paper torn for me, or it'd be really lovely, am I allowed to have them tear the toilet paper for me or launder the wine that spilled on my shirt on Shabbat?
Okay, it's a good question. In times of emergency, you can hint them, and they will hopefully understand and prepare the papers for you. About laundering, no, it's a problem. Okay? If the shirt was stained and now it has what do you call this? It's a wine spot on it. You put it away, and they did it on themselves, by themselves, without you asking them. It's a different story.
Hey.
Okay? Okay. Let's move on. One more halacha, and we're done for today. I think we're going to have to finish it. Let me just conclude that. Can I continue another 5 minutes?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. It is permissible to tear open food packages wrapped in paper on Shabbat, and especially if one destroys the packages as one open it. Likewise, one may tear open packages of matzot or cookies or ice cream. It is permissible as well to open bags of milk. In the land of Israel, milk is marked and sealed in plastic bags, not like here. Or other beverages packaged in foil packets, especially if one destroys the package as one open it. It's just showing, I don't need the package. I don't do it for the sake of the package. Okay? If a garment gets snagged on a nail jutting from a wall, a nail coming on from a wall, okay, or onto thorns of a bush, and if he simply pulls himself loose, he will likely tear the garment. It is permissible to carefully untangle the garment from the nail or thorn, even if this causes the thorns to become separated from the stem on which they grow. It is permitted since the person has no intention of pulling out the thorns, and it is not psikreshe, meaning it is not inevitable that this will happen. Make sense? Okay. Let me see if I can add anything in here. Oh, another question that I get every now and then. After a meal, people like to restore the food, the leftovers, right? So when they want to restore the food, usually what people do during the week, either they have this plastic wrap, right? Mm-hmm. Nylon, or aluminum foil.
Yeah.
Correct? Can I do that on Shabbat?
Yes.
The answer is no, because you're tearing it. This is why you need to buy, if you're using aluminum foil, they're selling it all over, Costco, Sam's Club, whatever. Those who are ready, cut.
Cut, yeah.
They're cut. You're taking. It's like a sheet. It's like what do you call this? The Kleenex, but aluminum foil.
Yeah.
In regards to the plastic,
Saran wrap.
what?
Saran wrap.
Saran wrap. It's a problem. I don't think they're selling this cut. So prepare yourself with plastic bags, or it's highly recommended to have containers ready, easy to put on the table, easy to move. Just cover it and save it for whatever, anytime you want. Okay. Please make sure you don't cut anything. Not to use it to restore the food. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I think we discussed that. All right. Socks. Usually socks come together attached, either with a thread, with a plastic thingy, and you want to use it on Shabbat. And the only way to separate it is to cut it.
Yeah.
Right, Sammy? Can you try wear them without doing that? Yes, you can. I don't know if it will be comfortable. So what the halacha says about it? The halacha says first you have to prepare yourself, cut it before Shabbat. But if you didn't do it, as it's okay to do it, but don't do it in front of people that don't know the halacha. They might think that everything now it's permitted to tear. It could lead to confusion. All right. Any questions?
I do have a question about the hot water.
Hot water. Go ahead.
I think in the other class you said that if a non-Jew heats up some water to make himself some tea or coffee
Okay.
on Shabbat,
We're talking about it now, different topic. Right? It's related to what we're studying now? Kind of. Okay.
So if he heats up the water to make himself some tea or coffee,
Heat up the water?
yeah, a non-Jew.
Oh, okay.
The non-Jew heats up the water on Shabbat to make himself some coffee.
Okay.
A Jewish person could use that water to make himself some coffee.
Correct. If a non-Jew prepare himself hot water on Shabbat, a Jew may use the leftover.
Can you use it also to like wash your hands or something?
It's a boiling hot water. I don't know if it'll be wise to do that.
Could you mix it with the cold water?
You can mix it. It depends what you want to do.
Yeah, like say if there was some hot water, I wanted to mix it with cold water to wash my hands. Could I do that?
It should be okay.
Okay. Okay, so there's actually a more complicated question that follows that question.
Shoot.
So
Amy, patience. You have it all day at home, He likes to study, Jeff. Go ahead.
So the thing is like in a condo and in apartments and hotels also, the way the hot water works in places like that, they have boilers. They don't have individual water heaters. And the water stays hot, the water runs constantly, and it circulates.
I know. It's
Is
a problematic.
You see where I'm going with that?
Most of the rabbis hold that you cannot do that on Shabbat, but yes, okay on Yom Tov. Even boiling, what we have here, the boiling,
Boilers?
the boilers that we have, the regular we have at home. What is it?
Right, there's a water heater.
Water heater. Water heater can be used on Yom Tov, as long as it was working before the holiday, because it's permitted to use, for cooking, it's permitted to take a shower. On Shabbat, it's a problem. Hot water coming out of the faucet, cold water coming in, and they're boiled in the boiled water, and it will reignite the fire. It's a problem on Shabbat. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef paskin that if it's based on panels that take the power of the sun, it's permitted to use on Shabbat to wash dishes and stuff like that, as long as it's not past the 45 Celsius or 50 Celsius, 47 Celsius. Okay, it's permitted because Rabbi you're paskin that because it says what the Torah prohibited if it was based on fire, but the Torah didn't prohibit something that power comes out of the sun. But this is another topic for another time to talk about cooking and boiling on Shabbat and all that. It's related to this
Wendy
topic.
has a question.
Who?
Wendy?
Go ahead. Oh, I see the hand now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, Rabbi. This
Shalom.
is Wendy. I had a quick question. Can a Jewish person be in a car if a non-Jew is driving?
Absolutely during the week, not on Shabbat.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Not on Shabbat. But you may go into your car on Shabbat and sit there if you want, as long as, on Shabbat, as long as there is no light. You're not breaking Shabbat by doing that. Let's say you open the door and light turns on, you can. But if you know for sure that opening the door is not going to cause any light to go on and off, you may do that. It happens sometimes people forget groceries from the store that they bought in the store in the car, or a key or a book or a talit or something. So you may open it and take it out as long as you're not breaking Shabbat by doing that. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining our Torah class. See you Be'ezrat Hashem next week. New topic, same time, same date. God bless you all. And Am Yisrael Chai. Say it together. Am Yisrael Chai. God bless you.